NASCAR is running the Charlotte Roval this weekend. Must be like the 8th year now of them running it. And I feel like with this car, at least for Cup, they might as well go back to the oval. The oval racing has been so much better. The Coke 600 this year was great, but they insist on running the Roval, so they're running the Roval. Truck race got done an hour ago. Corey Heim won despite Grant Enfinger losing talent lap 1, turn 1. Enfinger turned into Lane Riggs, and then that turned Riggs into Heim, and Heim got sent into the tires. Heim was able to battle back, though, despite the right front fender damage, and he got a lucky caution from what I heard at the end, was able to beat Brent Cruz for the win. Lane Riggs was not so lucky, and Lane Riggs let it be known that he is not a fan of Grant Enfinger. He even went on to say that Enfinger kind of ruined his race back at Watkins Glen. So it's a super tight points battle now for the other 7 drivers in it. Nobody is more than 4 points to the good or 4 points out. So that's going to be fun to watch. They've got Dega next, and then they got Martinsville. And I'm going to try to watch Martinsville because I'm going to be looking for that 34 car, or truck rather, and seeing what he does if he gets around that 9 truck, because I think he ain't going to cut Grant any break, and he's probably going to ship him the second he gets a chance. So that'll be interesting. So welcome to episode 23 of Who's That Driver. We're closing in on the milestone of 25. Still no idea who we'll have for that episode, but hey, one episode at a time, one step at a time, as they say. I've got a longtime NR vet here who doesn't really do NR too much anymore, but he's an NR vet nonetheless. And one of the first guys I met in the open setup realm way back in 2016, Sean Whitehill. How we doing tonight, Sean?
I'm doing all right.
Yeah, so if I remember correctly, you were the first great controller driver that I met on this game.
Yeah, heard that a lot. Randall is like blown away by my prowess on a controller, but there's betters. Shout out to Noah Joyce, who competes on iRacing, on a controller. Not, I don't keep up on the stats too closely at USRL, but I think NR is probably does a little better on NR, but he was competing for championships on a controller. I I don't know, like I've always ran on a controller. Never had a wheel, so like after a while, got used to it and kind of figured out like this like I honed in the settings more and like what I needed to do, and I guess decent. Yeah, yeah. I didn't wreck every week,
Yeah,
so
well,
I guess it did pretty decent.
it's a lot harder to keep a smooth hand on the wheel, or in this case for you, the joystick, when it comes to turning the car. So I'd say you've always been a clean racer from everything I've seen, and I can't remember the last time or a time that I saw you just like lose control of your car. So I think you're
Yeah,
pretty good.
yeah. I try to be. I pride myself on being like not a caution clock. There are sure tracks like New Hampshire. Oh my God, New Hampshire. I'm now. If you want me to be a caution clock, just run New Hampshire. I cannot. I can. The setup has to be as tight as can be. Like I'm a, I'm a spinning top New Hampshire for whatever reason.
It could be like the flat aspect. I feel like short tracks. I remember when I was on controller a little bit in the beginning, before I got a wheel. The flat short tracks were hard. Were like they felt looser than like a bank track, but it was funny because at the same time, for me at least, the like short tracks were like how where I had the most short run speed, but that was because I was burning the hell off my right front half the time. So right now, there's a pretty good controller driver in the Fuel Series on NR, open setup and fixed setup. They do great as well. Apollo High had them on a couple episodes ago. They do a phenomenal job on controller, and the crazy thing about their controller setup is for gas and brake they use the buttons. They don't use the triggers. So
I used. Oh, wait, the buttons for
the
wait for the accelerator.
the buttons for the accelerator and the brake, yes, they do not use the triggers.
Oh, that's old school. That's like, yeah, that's fucking old school. Like using the X button and the square button for your gas and brake.
Yeah,
No, I have to use the triggers. I've always used the triggers.
yeah. I want
I
to
get an indent
say,
now if I use the X. If I use the buttons for my accelerator, I get a big indent in my
yeah.
thumbs now. If I do that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I remember when I had a controller. I don't think the controller I used at first had triggers, but I did use like the R1 L1 for like throttle and brake. But yeah, it was touchy. It was touchy for sure.
Yeah.
So looking
Yeah.
at, oh sorry, I
For
keep.
oh no, yeah. For the bumpers, yeah, the L1 R1, I use that for shifting.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't remember exactly the setup I had. I don't remember if I was doing sequential on controller, if I was doing direct selection at that point, because I used to fiddle with direct selection shifting for a time, especially when I got my first G920. When I got my first G920, I didn't have the H pattern. I think it was because I didn't really have like room for it per se, and I didn't want to use sequential for the paddles, so I would use the four buttons as my first, second, third, fourth gear, and I used that as direct selection. I may or may not have money shifted once or twice doing that, just because they're so close
I don't know if
together. But
I don't know if I could do that. I
yeah,
don't even know if I could do that.
that was a long, long time ago. Now I got the H pattern. I think relatively quickly, just because I wanted to get used to it, and I was hooked using it once I started using it. So now I can't go back. I need a shifter, and I need the shifter to work properly. These Logitech shifters aren't the best. After like 2 years of constant use, they tend to fall apart. So far, this shifter, I'm surprised. I've been using it, I think, almost 2 full years now, and I haven't really had to replace it yet. So I think I'm doing pretty good on that. But sometimes the second and fourth gear start to like get really like close on each other. I had one shifter once where it cost me money because there was like a giveaway gift card race that we were doing. I was leading on the last restart, and I went to shift from first to second, and my shifter decided you're in fourth gear, not second gear,
Oh
and
no.
I got wrecked, and that sucked. So yeah, cost me $50, and then I went and bought a new shifter for $60. So yep,
Yeah,
that
good
was a
call.
that was a damn shame. Lost out on winning money and had to spend money.
Yeah. Oh, the old good old double whammy.
Yeah, it was a
But
double
at least
whammy.
a better place. Yeah. First to fourth. No. Well, maybe better than fourth to first.
Yeah, that's true. Could have been
So you
a
have to buy
blown
yourself a new
engine.
sim. You have to buy yourself a new uh, simulated engine
Oh yeah.
transmission.
Yeah, the funny thing too though about like shifting is, and I'm sure you're well versed in this, is everyone I know who uses sequential shifting, they'll break a gear on an upshift with the NRRNG.
Yep.
With the H pattern, I will rarely break a gear, but when I do now, it's on a downshift.
Mm.
I have not broken a gear on an upshift with an H pattern. It's always on a downshift. So, which sucks because it's a little more a pain in the ass, I guess, because you break a gear on an upshift, you just go straight up to the next gear, and then you just have to keep skipping the gear on sequential when you're downshifting, which that's a bigger pain in the ass. But like in the moment, when I break a gear on a downshift, I'm braking for a corner at like a road course or something. So it completely like throws me off. I have to like immediately like downshift to the next gear. It's just
Yeah.
its own little unique nightmare, I guess.
Yeah, I've always used. Yeah, I've always been on sequential, and yep, I pretty much at least 95, if not all my 90%, if not all of my gear breaks have been on upshift and real fun on restarts. Um, there's one season of I think it was one season of fast. Um, this is like the one season that I think we were doing. I think we were doing manual yellows. I think we didn't. It's been so long since I ran fast. I don't know if they still do manual yellows. I don't think they do. But there was one point where we did use manual yellows, and we had a spreadsheet. Shout out to my boy Austin Higgs. Um, he had a spreadsheet, and one of the pages kept track of incidents. And I was one of like three full time guys. This is like halfway through the season. I was like one of three full time guys that did not cause a yellow. My first yellow caused was at Dover. We had like 10 cautions at that point, and when we restarted, went to fourth gear, and fourth gear went no. So fourth gear, yeah, shifted up to fourth gear. It blew, and I wrecked like half the field.
Dang,
My first yellow cause that season was thanks
RNG.
to RNG
God, I
and the
hate
fact
that.
that we can't we stop wrecking. Now,
Yeah,
because now I'm wrecked.
yeah. I mean, the RNG was at fault, but so were the 10 other cautions because he didn't have all those cautions. You maybe don't have to worry about the RNG. The more you
Yeah,
shift, the more likely it's to happen. It's funny how it all works though. Like I can go. Sometimes I go 6 months with no gear failure, and then I go like in the span of 2 weeks, I'll break 2 gears, and I'm like, what the heck? And then I'll go the 7 months without it, and it's just goofy RNG. We had we raced at Mid Ohio Wednesday night at Fuel, and I didn't break any gears in 25 laps, but I had my teammate. They lost first. Then there were like two or three other people that lost either second or third. So people were definitely breaking gears. I think one guy even blew up or something, or he just broke a gear on lap one. I don't quite remember what happened to him, but and the road courses are the brutal ones.
oh yeah. Oh, I have another story about blowing gears at a road course. And you might I don't know I don't know if you remember, but ran Sawmill at Fast, and this was during the manual yellow era. Um, but uh, I think Brandon, I think he didn't qualify, so he was starting in the back. But guess who was on the pole for that race?
You?
Me on a road course. Um, and it was open set, and I don't know. I don't know how I got the pole. Actually, I might not have gotten the pole. I might have qualified second. Either way, I was on the front row, and the very first time I ever that was the actually not the first time. That's the only time I ever led a green flag lap on a road course was that race. And well, I led quite a few laps. Like I led probably like the first like 10 laps. Thanks to us having like 3 or 4 yellows. Um, but once again, it's a road course. I'm on a controller, and there are a ton of yellows. It's a recipe for disaster for gears, and that's exactly what happened because I blew third and I no I blew first and second gear. I blew first and second gear, so there wasn't any chance of me having potentially my best road course finish. That took me right out of contention. Actually, it happened. It happened as soon as I gave up the lead to Brandon. Brandon finally got up to the front. He passed me in turn one, and then like as soon as that happened, I think I blew first gear. It's yeah. And that I guess that would have to been on a downshift, I think,
Dang.
because
Yeah.
it wasn't on a restart. It was yeah, it had been on a downshift. Very annoying.
Yes, indeed.
That sucked because like I said, that was by far my best run on a road course. I was confident. I was happy. You made a comment at one point because you were run second at one point. I remember you telling me, it's like, man, why is he so slow in the S? Oh, you're on a controller. That's why. It's like I'm doing the best I'm doing the best I can here, man.
I don't remember this race, so I don't. I'm going off your word that I was there. I feel like I definitely ran Sawmill either once at Fast or I might have ran it at APRS.
I think that might. I don't remember if that's the only time I ran. We did like a I don't know if we had I don't know if we had a fresh talent series at that point or a fresh meat series as I called it.
I remember
And I ran it.
Gatorade Lights is the one I remember. It was like 2018 or 2019. I don't remember running
Gosh, I don't remember.
too many races though. I remember running like the New Jersey Oval. I think I ran Atlanta, and then I might have run something else. And then I remember running the truck series a little bit. I know I won one truck race at Kentucky. That was cool because I think it was like Randall, Brandon. I don't remember if it was you or someone else. Were like all right behind me, and I managed to get that truck win. So that was cool.
Mm. I like the truck series. CTS is like, I mean, on CTS, since it doesn't have like that much horsepower, I mean, Texas is like just a super speedway, and it just means it's easier for me, so I preferred it. It means I was in contention. Um, but yeah, I think the most success I've had in NR was probably in the CTS or in the fast truck series. I got like 3 titles, I guess. I mean, one
Nice.
was like season shortened, and one was like a segment or something because we had like 2 or 3 segments in the truck series, and I don't know. I was that was the series I did best in. I guess I was a regular Mike Skinner.
Nice. Well, let's get into a little bit about you before we dive any further into the NR side of things. Let's start with what got you into motorsports. Who your first favorite driver was, who it is now if it's changed, and then your favorite form of racing.
I don't recall I don't recall watching in 2000, but I think in 2000 was probably my first year being a NASCAR fan. Like I said, I don't recall watching any of the races. The first race I remember watching was I think Rockingham, the first race after Dale passed in 2001. We have that taped. We only got to watch I guess we only got to watch the first like half of the race because it got rained out and then they ran on the next day. Of course, we didn't have cable. We didn't have cable, so I can only watch the Fox portion, not the FX portion. So it got frustrating at the end of the season when like half like most of the races were on TNT. It's like I can't watch. I can only watch NBC. But um yeah, first race I remember watching was Rockingham. The next race I remember watching was the Daytona July race, and that's the first race I remember watching flag to flag, where Dale Jr. won. And I have that on tape somewhere, probably taped over with like probably The Simpsons by now. But um, I don't know. That season is nostalgic for me. Uh, that in 2002, because that 2002 was the first full season got to watch. I still didn't have cable, but uh, that's the first season I watched all the Fox and NBC races, and very nostalgic for that era. Love the cars. Get into a conversation about that a little later once we get to the painting side. Um, my first driver was Dale Jarrett, the old UPS Ford. Though I think hell, he might have been my favorite driver back in 2000. Like I said, I don't remember watching the races, but I just remember being a Dale Jarrett fan when he was in the quality care car. I had a diecast. I think it might have been like an RC car, maybe like a remote control car, and it was I think from like 1996 or something. And I had that, and I guess I don't know how I became a Dale Jarrett fan. We share the same birthday. Not just a coincidence. That's not how I became a fan of his. I guess I just like the. I guess I just saw the car and it's like, oh, that's a cool looking car. My my a child me was impressed with car, and
That was the
I guess car is the car I'm
first.
looking for.
That was the first diecast I ever got when I was like 2 or 3 years old for my birthday. Was a quality care Dale Jarrett Ford.
It's a solid car.
Oh yeah.
It's a classic. Um, and yeah, that was my driver up until he retired. And so 2007 was a brutal year. That's because that's the year he went to Michael Waltrip Racing, first year of Toyota. He DNQ'd half the races. Thank God for the past champions provisional. Um, and that was just a tough year. 2008, I mean, another tough year. He Yeah, I think he had to use the past champions provisional probably every race in 2008. That's what it seemed like anyway. And I became a Rudiman fan. Became a Dave Rudiman fan because of him replacing Jarrett, and rooted for him. And yeah, I rooted for the Rudiman till I don't know, 2011, 2012, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I'm still a fan of his in 2012 when he went to TBR, but I mean, he wasn't running a whole lot. I think he was like splitting time in that car and the 83 or like the BK car. So that was another tough year. And I just from that point to for a long time I couldn't find a cup driver. I did refer a lower series driver. Shout out to Johanna Long. Um,
Oh, cool.
she was my main driver for a little bit. I didn't even know she even ran. At that time when I became a fan of hers, I didn't even know she won a snowball derby. It's like, oh, okay, she wins. All right, we got potential here. Um,
Oh, I
well,
didn't know that either.
yeah, yeah, she won the 2010 snowball derby. She wrecked the hell out of Atlanta Castle to do it, but hey, you got to do what you got to do. um, and and that didn't last long because she was out of the sport by like 2015. Um, so once again, I got to go driver hunting. Uh, and I was a fan of Dave Blaney because Blaney, he's from Ohio. Not my part of Ohio, but you don't get too many Ohio NASCAR drivers. Of course, Tim Richmond was long gone by the time I was born, so I can't root for him. Um, and so I was rooting for Dave Blaney. Not a whole lot of success, but someone to root for is a good underdog to root for, especially on the super speedways. And he had a son. I think his name is Ryan. Um, so when he started driving, I was like, oh, cool, Dave. Yeah, cool. Dave's got a son, and he's racing now. Cool. I guess I might start rooting for him too. And fast forward, what, 13 years later, I have a flag. I have a Ryan Blaney flag above me. I got a few of his die casts hanging on my walls. I'm not wearing it right now, but I have a Ryan Blaney shirt that I wear a lot. That has champion on it. I have pillowcases, and yeah, I think my current driver now is the 2023 champion Ryan Blaney.
Right on. Yeah.
being
Good
a
guy to
Dave
root
Blaney fan,
for.
as I'd say, as I would usually say, hey, sometimes being a fan of an underdog sometimes works out because they can produce a champion.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, I mean, Blaney, I like Blaney. Blaney's a very likable dude. He's probably the only likable dude really for me at Penske right now. I despise Logano and Cindric. Eh, Cindric, I'm kind of indifferent on now. I used to dislike him uh, when he was in Xfinity and stuff, but since he's gotten the cup, I've like slowly started to like him more and more. Um,
Yeah,
but
I don't.
Logano, I cannot find any way to like. Like Brad, I used to hate him and Brad for the longest time, and then Brad like slowly got better, and Brad wasn't like an asshole anymore like he was that one year. But Joey just continued to be an asshole, so I've just despised Joey till the day he retires, basically.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel that. I'm not a huge Logano fan either. My mom is. That's because only NASCAR race I've ever been to was in 2008. We went to the Kentucky race. I don't remember if they still ran two races at that time in the Busch Series, or it might have been nationwide at that time. Um, I don't remember if they ran 2 races at that point, but we went to the June race. And it was we were part of like several records that night. I don't remember. There's one I don't remember, but we got it was the biggest capacity crowd ever at that point at Kentucky Speedway, so we got to be part of that, and we got to see the youngest winner in the top three series history, Joey Logano. We got to witness his very first Busch Series win, and that's the reason, and that's the reason my mom's a Logano fan. I Yeah, I don't really care for Logano. I don't even care for Cindric. Um, it's totally not because of that Daytona 500 finish. Um, I fucking walled Blaney. I say that as Blaney has done the same thing to a couple other drivers, but I mean, we're going to ignore that. But
Yes,
yeah,
the
Cindric.
good old favorite driver bias. Ah, yes.
Oh God, hell yeah. Oh yeah, we're a Blaney homer. It is the pit crew's fault. I swear. Anything that goes wrong is damn pit crew. I swear.
Oh, right on. Well, so let's get into NR. Um, First, I'll ask: was NR your like first kind of sim racing journey, or did you get into something else before? Like
Um,
arcade games could count. I don't usually ask this question, but like, did you play any like of the Electronic Arts games or stuff
oh
before
yeah,
you learned of NR? Or
yeah. So I started out on the PS1, the old classic PlayStation 1. Um, let's see. First time I got introduced to a PlayStation 1 was through my sister. She had a PlayStation 1. She had the original PlayStation 1, the big, bulky, gray box. Uh, and we had a demo disc, and didn't have NASCAR on it, but it had a few games on it, and that's how I got interested in Crash Bandicoot because there was a demo of Crash Bandicoot 2 on there, and it had NFL Game Day '97. That's how old that freaking disc is. Got NFL Game Day, no, '98, NFL Game Day '98, and a few other games. So I played that a lot until till Christmas. This I think about a couple months later after I started playing PS1. So at Christmas 2002, I got my first games: Crash Bash, and Crash Team Racing. Which that was yeah, that was fun. I got in trouble when I got home. I got that for Christmas Eve. When I came home, I put in Crash Team Racing, and I was playing that until Mom yelled at me to go to bed and were saying it's not going to come. Uh, that I mean that gets a kid in bed. Um, uh, the next morning, I woke up, opened up my presents, and one of the presents was NASCAR Thunder 2003 for the old PS1. And I popped that in, and as my dad said, we're not going to see him till New Year's. And I think he might have been right. I played the hell out of that game. It took me a long time to finish above 18th. Um,
Oh yeah, the PS1 version of that game is brutal.
yeah, and 18th doesn't sound too bad. It's like, oh, it's mid pack. Yeah, that's not too bad. No, 18th was dead last on the PS1 version. Um, I still remember when I finished 17th. I finished 17th at Martinsville. I was like, oh, okay. And then the next race after that, I won. I figured it out, and Martinsville became my favorite track. Not in NR, not in NR, but in NASCAR Thunder 2003 on the PlayStation 1, Martinsville was my favorite track. Um, and so I played the hell out of that. I got NASCAR Thunder '04 on the PS1. Not quite the PS2 version. There are some slight differences. Um,
It's
but
like,
I played the hell out of that, and then uh, I still have the magazine. It's a NASCAR, I think NASCAR Illustrated. Um, I still have
I
the
remember that.
magazine. We used to have subscriptions. We used to have subscriptions to NASCAR Illustrated, Milestones, NASCAR Scene. We used to have subscriptions for all that, and then just kind of stopped. But
Yeah, I
man,
remember. I
I wish I could
remember
find these
being
magazines
a.
too.
I remember being a kid. I had a subscription to Sports Illustrated Kids and something else, and then It's funny. Like I totally forgot that I used to do like magazine subscriptions growing up.
Yeah. It, I had to look for the milestones one because I forgot what it was called, but that was probably my favorite out of the three I got over Scene and Illustrated. That's because I had more pictures. Um, yeah, it's like I'm a kid. I don't read. I don't
Yeah,
barely read now.
I just wanted the cool
Um,
pictures and the
yeah, I just want
posters.
to see the pictures. Uh, but in I still have the magazine in my room. There's an advertisement in NASCAR Illustrated for NASCAR Thunder 2003 on the PS2, and I probably got the magazine before I even started playing on the PS1, so I wasn't even like really aware of it. And until I started playing Thunder 03 and Thunder 04, and it's like, man, I'm looking at these, like looking at the graphics, and like, man, I want this because they're actually side by side. Because in the PS1 version, they don't get too much side by side. They're single file, and like you can see so many cars, like they're two by two, like throughout the entire field. There's drivers that are not even in the like. There's drivers that are being shown that are not even in the PS1 version. Like there's a picture of like Kyle Petty wrecking or something, and it's like, oh, he's not in the game. I want him in the game. So for months and months, I begged for a PS2. Months I begged for a PS2, and I finally got it. It was my last day of fourth grade in 2004. So we're talking June 2004. So it's probably like a year maybe after I started begging for a PS2. I didn't even, yeah, didn't even get it for Christmas. Um, I finally got my PS2. Did not get NASCAR Thunder 03 or 04 on the PS2. Well, Thunder 04 wasn't out. No, Thunder 03 wasn't out yet. Oh no. 05 was the next game. Yeah, 05 was the next game that would come out. So 04 was out. Obviously since I play on the PS1. Mind mind me. Old brain.
You're good.
So the first game I actually bought was NASCAR '01, and that I didn't know that at the time, but that was the first PS2. That was the first NASCAR PS2 game. Um, and so it wasn't quite as polished. Uh, the racing was okay. It didn't have 43 car fields. It only had, I think it was like 24 cars in a field. Uh, but it didn't matter to me, man. It was PS2. I still played the hell out of that game. Um, and then I think maybe a couple months later, I got NASCAR Thunder '04, and the nostalgic hype that game gets, it's deserved. I I don't think I played a NASCAR game more than I did '04. I hadn't touched the career mode a whole lot though because I was not good. I consistently finished 43rd, but it's still 43 car fields. The graphics at the time, the graphics were amazing. You had weird drivers. You had Hermie Sadler in a PS2 game. Well, it wasn't his first PS2 game because he was in Dirt to Daytona. But still, like Hermie Sadler in that '02 Go Team Virginia car, or and
Virginia
Kevin.
Tech.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's car. He was that's his NR car. That's the car they have in NR. He's like one of like two guys, or no, one of like a few guys in that game that actually has two paint schemes.
Yeah,
He's
I
got
know. The Faultly. Yeah, there were a few guys that had two paint schemes. It was Hermie, uh Newman.
Waltrip.
Yep.
I think Waltrip had one.
Yep, Waltrip had two, Newman had two, and I think Mark Martin had three.
Yeah. Oh really?
I think Mark
Yeah,
Martin has three by default.
I think the black, yeah, the regular black car, his inverse, and then I think the craft car.
Yep,
I think.
craft car for Martin. Yep,
Okay.
and then Waltrip had the Nilla wafers, and then Hermie had a Virginia Tech car, and then he had something else that was like green and yellow, and Newman
Oh
had
yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
Newman had Altel and a mobile one, and
Okay.
I think that was the only ones that had multiple schemes. I don't think anybody else had
I
extra
think
schemes by default.
for some reason I feel like Jeff Burton had another scheme, but maybe not.
Jeff Burton, oh, you might be right. He might have had two. I don't recall.
But
But so when did you get? We'll just fast forward a little bit here. So when did you discover NR?
when I discovered NR, probably like 2008, 2009, was when I was aware of its existence. It was through YouTube. Um, I don't. I probably started watching like Crash Comps. Maybe I figured out from Crash Comps. I don't remember exactly how I found it. Probably Crash Comps. But there is a specific occurrence that got me interested in NR, and it was through uh, remember the TM. It was the TM Master Cup series by Ian Cooper.
Yeah.
Um, I used to watch a lot of that, and Siege. I don't know his name, but Siege CJ. He did the Arla Cup. Or I don't think it was Cup. I think it was like the Arla series, and that's actually the series I watch more than I'll actually watch that one more than the TM Master Cup. But Arla, that's the one that really got me interested in like what this game was about because these are like custom cars. Like these are custom paint. Like these cars are not in the game, and it just blew me away of like how is this possible? Like because of course you know I'm I don't know the inner workings of like modding. Of course, like at that time, I thought everything was just out of the box.
Yeah, me
So I'm
too.
like, how? Like, these are custom cars. Like what? And like, do they have to like manually paint these cars? Because like, if so, then they did a pretty good job on like this Bud Light logo and this Bud, like all these logos. It didn't even occur to me that you can just like there's a paint booth and you can get logos. Well,
You can
there's a
just
paint
Google
booth
them.
and you can yeah and use Google to get these logos and they're like templates and stuff. It never occurred to me. I was just like blown away by this and I was interested. Um, and it uh wasn't until 2011, sometime in 2011. I think it was early 2011. I found the demo. I found the demo of NR, and that was basically uh, my main NR uh, deal till around November. Uh, in November, I found a video of where to get it. I think I still remember who. I still remember the account. Like I still remember the channel. I think it was FCF guitarist. I think that's his name. He had a video of how to download NR and all that stuff. So I used his video. Of course, definitely safe. Just take a random video and just download the links from it. Um, but I did, and got NR working, and I went to Outlaw Graphics,
Oh,
uh,
okay.
and I went through the forums, and that's how I got the 20. Well, I downloaded the 2011 mod. The I think it was the BR. I think it was the BR 11 mod, and that's how I got all the fucking paint schemes. And
So this was
oh man,
2011 when you finally got the game.
yeah, November 2011 is when I got the full game, and just oh man, I'm getting nostalgic just fucking thinking about like getting the paint schemes off of Outlaw Graphics, and they're all TGAs. There are no cup files. I had to individually make every file, but I mean I didn't care. I was just going ham, download every single scheme I could find, and um yeah, basically how I started off. NR was doing all that. I wasn't paint. I was painting cars like the original cup while I was doing that on the demo, but it wasn't really anything to write home about. It was like paint booth slop. I was making shit out of the paint booth. But
Mm.
yeah, that's how I got started. Got the game in November 2011 and got my start by downloading the 2011 mod or the BR 11 mod and going ham on Outlaw Graphics. Rest is history, I guess.
What was the first online league you got to join?
First online league. I don't remember if it was Hobo.
Really,
Was there?
Hobo?
There was. There were a couple leagues before the main one that I joined, but I never raced. I don't remember if it was Hobo that was first or if it was Blazing Pedals. And I know Blazing Pedals, I would have not been popular.
Oh,
And the
really?
reason, and the reason being, they have I think at the time, they had a wheel only policy.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I remember that.
When I joined, I wasn't even on a controller. I was on a keyboard.
And I bet they could tell.
Oh yeah,
You're like,
but I
man, he
thought I could.
jerking all over the place. He ain't on a wheel.
And I wasn't even by myself. I wasn't even racing too good either. That's not like I ran a whole lot. I just effed around with the AI, but I mostly just kind of just watched the races. Um, but how I got started in online racing in general is through NASCAR Inside Line, NASCAR the game Inside Line. Uh, Finally got an Ethernet cable. This was November 2012. I got an Ethernet cable, and I don't know. I just started racing. I did my toe and racing other people, and did all right. Only ran Talladega. Did all right. I don't think I won any races, but I've had good time.
There you go.
I mean, it was enough to get me interested in actually racing NR. And this was through, well, that was November 2012. And so this would have to be winter where I started trying to like join NR leagues. Like I said, I feel like it was Hobo. I don't remember, but okay, I'll give an open speedway. Uh,
So let's say it doesn't matter what really was your first online league race, but the earliest race you can remember. Do you remember what your car number was, the paint scheme, the mod, the track, how you did? Like the
yeah,
earliest race you can remember.
yeah. Well, after Blazing Pedals, uh, um, I finally joined Fast. That was off of a post that Randall did, advertising the league. This was January. That was in January of 2012. Oh
Uh,
no, not 12, 13. January 2013.
Advertising
Uh,
is something Randall needs to learn how to do again.
well, you can't because I mean,
He's
probably still could,
lazy.
probably on Stunot or something. I don't know, but because this was on the SRD forums, it was
Mm,
sim racing design. That's where I found the post, and I,
good old SRD.
I think, what got me interested. I don't, because I mean the forum's gone now, and there's no way that that particular thread is on the Internet Archive. But he might have said something where you don't have to be on a wheel, like we allow controllers, and I never ran on a controller at that point. So I was interested, and I even said so. Like I never ran a controller, but I mean I'll try. Um, like I'll try running a controller, and that's pretty much how I joined Fast was through that post. But the first race I did, I do remember that. It was in the next month, February. Um, they used to hold their All Star race before the season. Um, and
Shit, we don't
I
even
did
do that anymore. Or no, we
no,
did. We did do an All Star race. Never mind. I'm
yeah, I think
dumb. We did do an
yeah.
All Star race at Wilkesboro this year.
Oh, I was thinking like before. Yeah, yeah. Last I ran, yeah, they still did All Star races, but I think it was like in the middle of the season.
Yeah, yeah, we did one. We did one.
Like yeah, like normal did it in the middle of the season. But no, yeah, they had theirs in the middle of the season, and I ran. I mean, to get used to it, Randall had a few of the rookies or a few of the people that just joined. Did a few test races. Um, and I did all right. I was holding my own. I don't think I was the best in the class though. There was another guy. Shout Colton Harmon. Probably. I highly doubt you know that name because
Yeah,
he
I don't
didn't.
remember that name. No.
Yeah, something happened to like his wheel or something, and he just kind of, I don't know. He just stopped, and it sucked too because I think he was pretty good. Um,
It's weird how people will sometimes just have like their computer break or like their controller input breaks and they never come back.
Yeah, I don't remember if something happened to his wheel or if he had to move or what. Or it might have been computer related. Like I don't know. I think he still does like paintings. I don't know if he paints or if it's I don't know. He still does something with NR. I don't remember exactly what it was, but yeah, he never raced again. Um, and so it was me, him, and maybe like a couple other new people. But we used to like fun little test races, kind of get everybody's caught up. Um, but the first race I did was it would have been the All Star Open, but there wasn't enough people to run an open. Or at least not enough people to like you know to be worth running an open for. So everybody, like, all right, so everybody, it's here tonight. All right, you're in the All Star race. So in first race, I was an All Star, and I don't recall ever wrecking. I think I finished like seventh or something out of like maybe 12, 13, 14, 15 cars. Decent amount of cars, I guess. So I ran like mid pack, and yeah, um, the first points race I think the schedule at the time was Cup on Wednesday, um, the Xfinity series, the Dash Performance, where the hell we called it at the time, the Dash series was on Thursday, and then the Truck series was on Friday. So my first points race was the Cup race, and we ran, of course, Daytona, like original, right? League starts off at Daytona, uh, and I remember being involved in a one of the big wrecks. Didn't cause it, but I was involved, and I finished. I think I finished like a lap down, maybe. But most important part for me, hey, I finished. I didn't cause any trouble. And I don't remember how I did in the I don't remember how I did in the Xfinity race or the truck series race, but I just remember how I did in the Cup race. So that's basically how I got my start. I don't remember where I finished. I think it was like 11th. I think in the
Mm.
Cup race, and yeah, that was the start of my sim racing uh, career, I guess.
Do you remember your first win at Fast?
I do. Um, Pull out the old notepad, not the mountain notepad, but the notepad. It was in May of 2013. So this is see, we started off in February, so about 3 months after. After finishing sixth place, God amount of times. I won my very first online race in the truck series at Talladega. Um, I do remember the circumstances around it. It was teammate aided. I think I, I think I don't know if it was Randall that was pushing me or if it was Nathan Curtis that was pushing me, but or it might have been Corbin. Corbin Huffman might have been pushing me. I don't remember. It was one of the Revolution guys was pushing me. And this is I think let's see, because I got the team down. Okay, yeah, the '96 Diet Coke Chevy Silverado for Demario Chambers Racing. Okay, so I wasn't running for my team anymore because that's how I started off. I was running for my own team, Riverfront, and I was in a Ford. And eventually, I think after like a month or so, I got picked up by I guess I think DCR was probably the Revolution Junior team. It was pretty much that at that point. So I got picked up by DCR, and already I was already a teammate to the Revolution guys because they pushed me to my first win. I remember there was the only thing I remember about that race, but apart from winning, was there was a wreck between Nathan and Mario. Um, I don't even know if that even cost a yellow because they were heading down pit road, and it's like, oh man, that kind of screws up things because I think they were pushing each other, like they were helping me or something. Oh, Nathan might have been pushing Mario. Maybe he could have won.
Mm.
Uh, but that was my first win. A lot of my wins were our super speedways and probably teammate aided. But yeah, that's how mine was. Yeah, well, it takes nothing like a little help from your friends.
Right on. What would you say your preferred number is? I feel like I know the answer, but I want to hear you say it.
Uh, Probably 91.
Okay, why
Um,
91?
I I don't know. That actually wasn't my first number. My first number fast was 96 for Andy Houston. That's the number. That's like the number style I ran was the Andy Houston number style. But reason 91, I don't know.
Just switch
Whenever
to
when
it and just it stuck for whatever reason?
yeah, I've ran so many numbers.
Same.
I ran the 96. Then I ran the 5 when I was at Revolution. Ran the 88. No, I ran the 88 and then the 5. Uh, and then when I went back to my own team, I switched to the 91. And 91, I don't know. I just like the numbers in the 90s. Some about the numbers starting with a 9. It's, I don't know. Like, I could have went with 91. I could have went with 95. Could have went back to 96, 97. Um, I think 95 might be like my third favorite number among
Hmm.
the 90 numbers, like probably 91, 96, and 95. 91, I don't know. That's what I've been when I would like when I would paint like my own personal cars, like even before I got into online racing.
Hmm.
That's the number I slapped on was 91, and just I don't know, just kind of stuck.
I so I've run the 9 a good bunch. Not recently, but I did at one point. I ran the 9 a lot, and I also ran the 19 a lot. So I would either run the 9 or the 19, depending on what was available in a league. I also ran 39 once when both were taken, and then I ran the 69 at a point for funny, you know, funny
Nice,
meme.
nice.
And then as far as the 90s go, I may have run 91 once, subbing for Nick Baker. I don't recall if I ever did that or not, so don't quote me on that. I did run 93, and then I definitely ran the 97, 98, and 99 at different points. Um, so that's how much I've run in the 90s. I would say as far as like digits go, I think maybe the numbers in the tens are my most popular other than the single digits. Um, I've run I've run a race in every single digit number except the 7. I don't think I've ever run a race in the 7. So, interesting little tidbit there. I have run a race or two in the 0. I was trying to add it to my list of numbers I've won in, and the 2 or 3 races I ran a race in the 0, I all had incidents where other people wrecked me, or there was something weird with the track and I like hit a bump that was up against a wall that shouldn't have been there because someone was trying to imitate marbles or something, I don't know. But yeah, I should have won a race at Trenton earlier this year in the 0, but there were bumps right against the wall on the front straightaway, and I got too close to the wall coming off the corner, and it looped me down pit road with like 7 to go. So that sucked. Well, what you
Yeah,
gonna
it'd be
do?
like that. The numbers there's probably numbers I've forgotten about, but I've ran so many numbers. Actually now I wish I could actually make a list of them. But it would not be it would not be a short list, and it would not take 5 minutes.
Yeah,
It'd be a thinker, but I've yeah I've ran
I
a ton of numbers.
aside from numbers that I haven't won in, like I have a few paint schemes saved of numbers of schemes I've run where like I never won in the scheme per se. So I remember some of those, but like otherwise, I always uploaded my wins to my Facebook. So like last year, I went through all my photos that I had at the time, and I made like a table on a Google Doc of like how many races I've won with each number. So I know like all the numbers I've won in. So that's why like this year I've been running like at some places I've been running numbers I haven't run before. Like I've been running um, the 48 on Monday. Had never run that before until like 2 months ago when the season started. And then I've been running 88 at Fuel on Wednesday, which I probably ran in a race somewhere once before, but this is like the first time I've like been running it full time and I've won races in it. And I did that with a few other numbers last year too. I ran the 97 for the like a good full season. At one point last year, I ran the one of all things 2 years ago. The only reason I ran the one was because I was the champion of the previous season, and I was like, "Oh, you can run the one," and I was like, "Sure, why not? I'll run the Ross Chastain number one Trackhouse car or number font." So, um, yeah, I've run, like I said, I've run all the single digits except the seven, which is kind of crazy. I've just never cared for the seven. Plus,
And,
Stallhood
and
runs it. I don't want to touch that number.
that's a good reason right there.
Oh, jeez.
And and go figure. I think seven is probably my favorite single digit number. I don't think I don't know if I've ever ran a number seven. Um, there's a few single digit numbers that I ran. I don't think I've ever. I don't remember if I've ever ran zero. Zero is a solid number though. Zero is a solid number. I don't think I've ever ran it in an online race. I've won. I've won championships in the one, but never. I don't think I've won a race. At least not that I can
Oh
find
yeah,
on
I
my.
keep I keep track of the
Not that I can find on my
championships too per
spreadsheet.
number.
Oh, I
My
did win a. Oh, I did win a race in the one. Okay.
nice. My
It
most
was the season. It was the
successful.
season finale at Fuel.
There you go. Yeah, my most successful numbers are the six by far. Um, I have like 85 wins in that number now or something out of my like almost
Holy.
300. Um, then I've got a good amount of wins in the five, the nine, and the 19. And then there might be a number I'm forgetting. There's a few other numbers I have like just over 10 wins, like the 97. Um, the the 9 is the number I've got the most wins in that I never won a championship in. Like I won a ton of races in the 9, but I could never win a championship when I was running it. So, there's that.
Yeah, my list of winning numbers is not too long. I actually it's more than I thought. I was when I was going through a notepad. I was able to write them down. So I've won races. Well, I won a race in the one. I've won races in the 2, 5, 12, 25, 45, the 48, 88, 91, and then 96. And that's just at least one race. Yeah, we're
Gotcha.
not that good. I have 51 career online wins,
Well,
which
hey,
you know what,
you hit 50. That's good.
considering hey, considering ran 10 years on a controller, you know what, 51, you know what, I'll take it. You know, one of them is because I finished second and someone was stripped because they didn't claim a caution. So technically 50, but I'll take it. It's better than none.
It's
Uh,
funny. I remember there was a race where this was in Melon Car. Someone jumped the restart, and I was like, I'm pretty sure that guy just jumped the restart. And so I raced like hell to get second because I knew like this guy's probably gonna get the win taken away. Like he jumped the shit out of the restart, and sure enough, he got the win taken away, and I got the win. That was my first
uh,
Melon Car win.
uh, that's yeah, that's a league I never. That's a league I think I ran like two races in, and I didn't do very well. I was talking to Joven about this like a year or so ago. We did there was a race at Auto Club. I don't remember what season it was. It might have been the first season, but of Melon Car. We did a race at Auto Club, and I thought like since these are just a bunch of randos, like I should get like a top 10, right? I mean, come on. Um, and I feel like I ran quick. Um, but I just at the end of the run I just kind of fell off and finished like I think I finished like 20 or something. It wasn't until and I couldn't really understand why. It's like man, I don't know, I just fell off. I couldn't understand why until I watched Joven's stream. I was I was I guess fast league minded. I guess I had grip on the mind. I was diving the corner in so fucking deep. Like there was actually one point where because you know how Joven does he does like the face cam. There was one point where I as I was entering the corner, he went and looked at his mirror. He's probably like, "What the hell? Whoa, bud, corner starts back there."
Yeah.
I was just but to me, it just didn't seem like I thought I was just getting in the corner better than everybody else. But like, oh, I was getting the corner better than everybody else at my own expense.
Yeah,
So
and your right
that's a
front was
harsh reality.
like, "Hey, buddy, I'm gonna go take a hike now, okay?"
Hmm. Yeah, see ya. Yeah, that's the harsh reality of running like uh, running different grips. Like you can't dive it in as deep as you think you can on some of these tracks.
Yeah.
I, but it was gripped enough to where I didn't spin. Like I wasn't like any danger of spinning or anything. It's just I don't know. I guess the setup was tight enough to where it's like, well, I'm diving it in. Well, you're gonna pay for it. Yeah, the right front's gonna pay for it.
This is a favorite question of the podcast. What's the dumbest thing you've ever done on track? Have you ever intent wrecked anybody?
Dumbest thing. Oh, 100%. There's a dumbest thing in there, but unfortunately I can't think of it at the moment.
Okay, but did you
I know there's
ever
an answer.
intent wreck anybody?
One time, um, I, I Randall gave me the nickname Sassy Sean, and that's because I get me riled up, man. Get me riled up. I will come after you. I will bite back. Well, bark back at least. Um, but as far as biting back, not really. I want to. There are times like, oh man, I wish I could just put someone in the fucking catch fence. But one time, we were at Nashville Fairgrounds. I think it might have been the playoffs one year, and there was a lot of cautions. I'm just thankful all my gears were intact at that point. But Nashville Fairgrounds, a lot of it's a tiny little short track. There's gonna be a ton of cautions, but this is playoffs. I I I don't think my position was secured, so like I needed a good finish. And there was one point I got dumped. I got walled, and I was not happy with this person. And so we were under caution, and as we were going down the pit road, I just kind of held my. I didn't really hold my throttle in, but I went in a little quick, and I fucking right reared him. Right reared him coming in the pit. I know not quite as spectacular as some of the actual intent wrecks, but I don't know. That's the only intent wreck I got. I right reared a guy coming into pit road, and he knew it was intentional. I knew it was intentional, and I don't think I think because it was I think it was because it was under yellow, and we were already in the back anyway. Uh, I there was no like repercussions or anything.
So if you don't want to name the person, that's fine. Could you tell me the paint scheme?
Uh,
If you remember their paint scheme or their
oh, I've
manufacturer or their number?
it was probably a McDonald's car, probably number 94. Oh yeah, I think I've even told him too.
Oh,
Yeah, shout
I
out to
I feel like
shout
I
out to
should know
Kobe
who
Kobe
this.
Martin.
Yes, that was going to be my guess, Kobe Martin.
But that's not the angriest he got me though. There was one
Oh,
time. Oh god.
let's hear it.
Yeah, we talk about this every once in a while too. I didn't never intent wrecked him, or at least in this race, but he gave me a damn reason to do it. We were running at Bristol, and oh my lord, I don't remember what position we were in. We were probably like somewhere in the top 10. But oh my lord, he was so slow. He was so slow. But I couldn't get enough of a run on him to do anything. But he was just so slow, and he knew he was holding me up too. But I couldn't like. The only way I could do anything is to actually bump him out of the way, and I should have. But not that. I'm not that guy. I'm like I bark, but I don't really bite.
Hmm.
I'm just not that guy to like bump someone out of the way. Plus, in NR, I mean, you can't really bump somebody out of the way. If you bump them, you fucking wrecking them. Um,
Yeah,
and
it's
this
new
I should have.
EXE now that Malin did like a year ago. You can kind of get away with a little bit of a bump and run into the corner, but it's still pretty sketchy. But anyway,
Yeah.
continue.
Plus, and plus, at a place like Bristol, where
Oh yeah, Bristol, you're
yeah,
gonna wreck the guy probably
yeah,
99% of the time.
and I didn't want to do that because I mean, if I wreck him, of course it's gonna be on me because I would have gotten sent to back. I mean, probably I don't know if it'd be on me because he was holding me up, but I think it'd probably still be on me, and I probably still would have taken it. But that's why I just took it and I just ran behind him. We lost the pack, and should have done something, but I did. Oh well, I don't remember where I finished in that race. I don't remember the circumstances of that race. I don't remember if it was like a playoff or anything, but it was just a normal race at Bristol for me.
Gotcha. Oh, is there any moments between you and myself that you can recall? I know we haven't raced. We never really raced against each other too much. I know you did mention the sawmill thing. I couldn't remember if I was in that race or not, but are there any other moments that you can recall between us?
At least one other. Yeah, I got the sawmill thing. Um, I think I think I remember the first race. I don't remember if it was the first race I actually ever ran with you or what, but I remember you used to own the league. I don't remember what it was called,
Yeah, I
but
owned a league at one time, NRSL online.
NRSL, that's what it was. Um, I ran one race there. I remember it was like me, I think Joven, and oh shit, what's his name? Lawson, Brandon Lawson. I remember he was there, and I think he was like he was. We had each other on Whisper, um, and this was at Dover, and I don't know if you remember this race. It's only oh no, I ran multiple races there because I remember I ran a
Yeah,
race at Kansas.
yeah, I remember
Um,
the Kansas one because it was Kansas FSC, and
yeah.
you got a black flag, and then you went to clear it, and it didn't clear, and I think I ended up just clearing it for you because like it should have cleared.
Oh,
But anyway, the Dover one. Let's hear the Dover
oh,
story because I don't remember Dover.
that I that I don't remember. The black flag thing I don't remember, but I remember I think I wrecked or spun. It's I think I might got spun by I think Lawson at that race. I think I don't know. I
At
got
Dover.
turned and I wasn't happy. No, at Kansas.
I don't even know if
Um.
Brandon ran the Kansas one, but anyway,
Anyway, the Dover race. Of seems like there's a common theme at Dover, man. There's just a ton of fucking wrecks. Nobody can stop wrecking. And just remember, my real first introduction to you was, oh my lord, this dude is gonna have a stroke. This guy is gonna have a stroke. He's gonna have an aneurysm. And looking back on it, I mean, it was for a good reason. The room was getting a little rowdy. Nobody. It seemed like nobody was. At some point, nobody was kind of taking the race seriously, and they're just kind of goofing around. And I think they're probably doing it to piss you off. But you were just so frustrated and angry, and Brandon was like, oh man, this dude is losing his shit. And I'm thinking like, man, this dude's gonna have a fucking aneurysm, man. And I don't remember how I did. I think I ran up there. I think I ran like top 3 or 4. I think. I think. I think the race might be somewhere on Joven's channel
he
because I think
privated
that's not.
all his streams, so
Uh,
if
I
it
probably
is, it's private. You'll have to beg him to release a clip of it. He's been doing
it
some
might
clips here and there.
it might be unlisted. That's because this. I mean, that's how I know about the Melon Auto Club thing. That's how I knew I was getting into deep because I was watching his face cam and he was like he just like probably he looking back at the mirror and was like, golly, that
But
like I almost got into him.
so at Dover, did I say something to you or whatnot, or
No, no, you never say anything.
you
No,
just
never say
remember
anything
me
to me.
losing my mind?
Yeah, you were losing your mind
That
just
sounds
in
about
general.
right. Yeah,
Yeah,
I was losing my
you were
mind a
losing
lot back then.
yeah, you were losing the crowd. What they say, the at some point the inmates were running the asylum. it,
Brandon,
it was hectic.
yeah, Lawson probably said something like, "Calm down, Rogers, it's okay," and I was probably like, "Fuck off," like something like that.
Probably, but I just remember Brandon was just laughing his ass off and whisper. It
Oh
was just
yeah, I think he liked riling me up because he always found the Massachusetts accent of mine like hilarious. Like when I get mad, the accent just comes out full bore, and like sometimes I say something and it can't. Like even I can admit, yeah, it probably sounds pretty fucking hilarious. So, but
yeah. I mean, I think when I get angry, I think I got a little bit of country accent coming out. Um, I mean, people do say Cincinnati's in Kentucky. Um, but nah, that's that in the Kansas because actually I forgot about the Kansas until I started thinking about it during this conversation. But I think I ran two races in that league, and that was at Dover in Kansas. I don't remember quite. I just remember spinning at Kansas.
mm.
But the Dover thing, I just remember the only thing I remember is just you losing your shit. And as far as like memories of us racing, that's I mean that's about it. Part of that, apart from that and Sawmill, because any other time you're way up there and I'm back here.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Uh, what race win means the most to you out of your 51?
Um, I'll go back to the notepad. I know which one. I just gotta see what number. It was in 2018. Oh, win number 36 of my online runs. That's in 2018 at the Fast Under Armour Cup Series at Rockingham. Um, I was still running for Revolution at that point, and reason that win sticks out as probably one of my most special wins is because I think I went 2 years without a win in the Cup Series at that point, and um, this was during a period too where I was thinking about like quitting, and not because I wasn't winning, but because of I was just getting frustrated. Like I was DNFing.
Fun factor. Yep.
Yeah, that was not a fun season. I don't. Well, we ran two seasons. That was back when we ran two seasons in a year. You know,
Mm.
the spring we had to ran the spring, and then the fall. I don't remember which one was the bad one because there's a spreadsheet of fast results at least up until 2020, and spring and fall look about the same except one has a win and the other one doesn't. Um, might have been fall that was the bad one, but I just remember 2018 was not a fun year for sim racing for me. I was thinking about quitting in general, just go back to painting, and uh, I beat Cosman. It was the last dash. We had like about 5 to go, I think, and I held off Cosman for like 5 laps at Rockingham.
Hell
And
yeah.
yeah, for my first win in like fucking 2 years, at least in that series, that's one that sticks out the most. Um, another one, another one's kind of more sentimental. Win number 43. A couple years later, uh, it was a truck series race at Phoenix. I was running for Joe. I was on Team Twansky at this point, and I ran a special scheme. It was Nutra Chomps, and it had a picture of my dog on the back.
Aw.
And he had passed away like a month prior,
Aw.
and yeah, I ended up I don't remember if I led the most laps in that race or not, but I ended up winning that race. And man, Joe told me I was going to get a die cat. Like if you like, I don't remember if it was
You're
for
gonna
that
go
race
message Joe. Where's that diecast
or
from 5 years ago, brother?
dude, honestly, man, I was wanting a die cast for that car because it had the dog on it. Um, so I'd probably rank that second. Uh, for the others, I don't know, but those are the two main ones that stick out. Oh, and I ran one at USRL finally in 2021. I won it on field mileage, but
Hey,
still,
those are always
I
exciting.
and that was broadcasted. It was season go to Johto Network, season 7, Michigan. Um, Me and Mikey finished 1-2 on field mileage, and that I put that up there too because that was my first win there, and it took me so long to win a race there. That was open setup too. Like I'm not too.
Mm.
It's tough when I don't really build setups. I usually take setups. You know, I
Oh,
get setups
okay.
handed to me, and I try to tweak on them. I'm not too well versed in tweaking setups, even after like what 10 years of running open setup. I'm like I know this does this and this kind of does this, kind of bullshitting it. But when I'm fast
Yeah.
on open set, I feel pretty damn good about it. But that's probably my top 3 wins right there.
You know, it's funny you mentioned dogs. Like I love dogs. I haven't had a dog in a few years. Just in a situation where it's not really fair to have a dog to the dog. But I started doing some cardio this week. I've been kind of like the hermit man, the hermit young adult, just like go to work, move around at work, then come home and like don't want to do anything, don't want to go to the gym, don't want to exercise outside of work or anything. But like this week I've started like being more physically active. And so I was walking today and I do like a point to point because I live on a pretty nice road. Everyone walks and bikes on this road. So like everyone that drives on the road knows to like move over and stuff. So I was on my way back. So I was probably almost at the 3 mile mark of my like total length at this point, and starting to feel it a little bit. Just walking because I don't have running shoes, running sneakers yet. I'm getting some Sunday so I can start actually jogging. But I've been just brisk walking with hiking shoes, and I'm walking and I see this guy and a dog. Well, first I heard the dog barking at me, like this chunky chocolate lab, and I see the dog just like jogging across like this was like a little like private drive side road off the main road, and the guy's like calling for the dog, and the dog like did not care. Like the dog was coming up to me, and like I always see the good in dogs. I've never seen like a bad dog, or like I've never had any problems with dogs. So I like joked with him as the dog is getting closer. I'm like, is he gonna kill me? And he's like, no. And then like the dog gets up to my leg, and so I just stopped and put my hand down, and he like sniffs my hand, and then I'm like, all right, go on now. And he went back to his owner. But yeah, it was a chunky chocolate lab. But yeah, I just kept walking after that. So no problem. Dog didn't bite me or nothing.
Yeah, that's kind of the reason I earlier this year I kind of started walking a little more, but I do it down in the basement because there's about there's enough space to where I could walk like 16 paces and then walk back and forth. And walking outside is nice because fresh air. You can hear that the ambiance of wherever you're living around. Thing is, man, when I'm walking, I'm kind of usually in my own little headspace,
Hmm.
and I don't like loud noises or anything like too distracting. Well, dogs barking is loud and distracting, and we got a few dogs around this neighborhood, and there's always, man, when I'm every once in a while when I do walk outside, there's always one dog, man.
Yeah, I
There's
just
there's
blocked that out.
always a dog.
I just
I
look
It's
around for
hard.
like a quick second. If I don't see him, just like, all right, whatever. The dog barking in someone's yard.
Yeah. There's
There's
one time. Oh man.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh man. There was one time. This was like 10 years ago, I think. Down the street, um, a guy had this little. I'm not too well versed in breeds, but he had like a kind of like a little dog, and he had it outside, and he would go out in the street to greet me, and there was one day where he met me at the wrong time. Man, there was a school bus coming.
Oh no.
It's like, dude, you gotta keep. I'm just thinking the entire time, like, brother, you gotta keep your dog on a leash, man. There's a lot of loose dogs around here, and they don't get. Wish people kept their dogs.
Yeah.
Keep them on a leash at least that's long enough to the end of like to the street at least, like because don't let your dogs onto the street because I have a next door neighbor who earlier this summer his dog got hit by like a work van
Oh,
and it got killed.
that's awful.
And the first thing I thought, like when my mom told me that, first thing I thought of was like, 'cause nobody keeps their dogs on a leash. Like, I understand freedom. I know there's dogs that go to other yards, and maybe play with other dogs, but that's stuff that just gets me, man.
Yeah, you gotta have the dog on a leash. Yeah, this guy today, he didn't have the dog on the leash. Obviously, the dog ran right up to me, and I was a little worried for the dog more than anything because I was on this kind of like a semi-blind curve on the road I live on, and I was like, man, I hope no cars come by. Like, I want this dog to go back to his
Yeah,
owner, not like start looking at the car, you know. And,
yeah,
but yeah, I have a nice area. It's I live down like a peninsula road, so there's like the bay on both sides and stuff. So you get to like there's like shade in spots, and then there's like just pure sun in spots. So it's nice. Like today it was like 68 degrees. So start walking, I'm in the shade, nice and cool. And then I get like in the sun and I heat up a little bit, then back in the shade and like maintain. So it's nice. Um, but I'm working my way to there's a bike path that goes through like several streets. It's more towards the front of the road near the state road, state highway. So from my house to the bike path is 2 miles. So I've been like slowly working my way to that point. So today I almost got there. I think I got like 1.8, maybe 1.9 miles. So and then I turned around. So I'm probably gonna do some bike riding tomorrow instead, just to take some of the strain off my ankles and my shins. And
yeah,
then I might do a walk Sunday, or I might take Sunday off and then go back to walking Monday. But it's nice.
yeah.
You get good breeze, and there's always like today there was like so many. There's always like a landscaping truck and hauling something going by, and they drive by you, and you usually get like a nice little gust of fresh air from that. Today I was like,
Yeah.
oh, today one truck went by, and I was like, oh, that felt great. I could have done without the faint smell of cigarette smoke, but that felt great
Mm.
otherwise.
That's yeah. Smell of oil or gasoline.
But yeah, I'll
I
have
don't, I don't
to.
mind smell of gasoline. I
Yeah,
I smell of like diesel
gasoline.
fuel.
Yeah, gasoline. I like. That was either a diesel truck or like there was like an old truck that went by yesterday when I was walking. I was like, oh, I love that smell. Like that's great. I'm trying to breathe regular oxygen in right now, but I do like the smell.
Yeah, yeah,
um,
yeah. Fresh breeze. Yeah, nothing beats a fresh breeze. But I mean, a faint smell of like diesel fuel because it takes me back to like first second grade when you're getting out of school, you're about to get on a school bus. That's all you smell is diesel fuel, and
yeah.
it's like there's something nostalgic about that smell. So I don't mind that one. Yeah, like yeah, little thing of that. It's like yeah, I definitely don't mind that.
But yeah, I'll have to get a gym membership here soon because it's daylight savings is creeping in, and I won't be getting home from work until like 5:15. So I only got like another month maybe of being able to walk after work, and other than that I'd have to do it in the middle of the day on a weekend, so to get that sun.
Yeah, yeah, it won't be long. 5 o'clock. That's sunset.
Yeah. Okay, so last NR question. This is a four-part question. I think you might have already answered part of it, but you can just restate the answer if you like, and then you can answer this question in any order. So if you need me to remind you of any parts, you may. But so the question is, what is your favorite mod, favorite track, favorite league to have raced at since you don't really race anymore, and your favorite physics type? And you can answer in any order.
Um, yeah, I guess favorite mod. Well, as a painter, I've 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 been a part of like uh um like the initial car set. I've been a part of a few of those. Um, so I kind of hold those in high regard. So Cup 98 and the Cup 03 and 05 mods, I hold those in high regard. If I had to pick out of those, maybe Cup 03, maybe Cup
Okay.
03, and then maybe Cup 98, and then 04 and 05. I know uh, Minx 18 maybe. Uh, whatever. Um, Whenever the Cup was still using the Silverado, or not Silverado, the Chevy SS. Um, Whatever the last Minx mod of that, I put that up there. Um, I think that might have been 18. I think. Uh, and the next gen next gen mod, I helped a little bit in that. I put that up there too because so I like the look of the next gen bodies.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but my favorite of all probably Cup 03. Um, as far as favorite track, oh, and well, first my favorite mod used to be Cup 2000, but after realizing that it's just the NASCAR Thunder bodies, it kind of fell out of it kind of fell to the wayside a little bit. But
Mm.
especially when you start realizing the bodies aren't really that like the models aren't really that accurate. I mean, it's kind of accurate here and there, but we start like comparing the two car like the real life bodies to the models themselves. It's like I tried making a mod like couple one, and it's still in the works. It might get released around summertime of 2038. Um,
2038. Yeah.
because this is a project I've been working on for about 6 years now, and
Yeah,
I
it's
started
tough,
working on
right?
it soon after. It's especially someone who has no experience in modeling. But I finally got the models done. It's just everything else. And that's kind of full circle, full circle racing designs. That's kind of like it's a collaboration effort. Um,
Okay.
yeah, so eventually he'll be done. Like I said, maybe in time for 2050. As far as favorite track, oh, Rockingham. I It took me a long time to get used to that track because we ran it a few times before I actually learned how to drive it, and I was like, it's just not a track for me. Just another another struggling short track for me until I actually like learned how to drive it properly, and it's yeah, I enjoy that place. Um, it's for me, it's just really fun, and plus the tire saving aspect. When you stay off the brakes, you just kind of let your car roll. You can save a bit of tire and like let off early and all that stuff. Something that's like different from other tracks. Uh, like I to be to for me to be successful like really successful at Rockingham, I had to be on a long run. So on a short run, um, there's one instance of me being successful at Rockingham almost got me in trouble. Uh, we were running at AP. I don't remember if it was APRS or Studio Speed. I mean, same league but different name. Um, I ran. I think it was the Truck Series. I think it was fixed setup because I think they usually ran fixed setup back in. Uh, this was, of course, after I kind of learned how to run Rockingham properly, and I finished second behind Cosman, and I was like within Cosman's reach, so I did pretty decent. And I didn't have a mic. My mic was broken. Um, my mic was broken for whatever reason. I guess I mean, it was a cheap, like little $10 Logitech mic for you get at Walmart. So it broke. So I didn't have a way to speak, and because I finished second to Cosmin, and I didn't have a mic, and I wasn't really successful in that league, one of the admins asked, "All right, who's really in that 91?" And I took I took that more as a compliment because I took that more as a compliment because of that's how well I ran. But thanks to Penko, thanks to Penko being on TeamSpeak the night before when my mic went out, he was able to vouch for me and say, "No, that's really Sean in the 91. His mic broke the previous night." I mean, obviously, it could be hell. It could have been a little ploy. I was like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna say my mic's broken. Really gonna have like someone else run the 91 for me. It's like, but no, that was actually me. And that that track's fun. I won several like I won like all-star opens and like small little test races at Rockingham. So I didn't win a whole lot. The only points paying race I won at was that cup race I mentioned. But I seem to either finish top five at Rockingham, or I'm just in every damn wreck and finish like 17th. There's no in between. I never finish 10th. It's either third or 23rd, and that's kind of what's frustrating. I do have another track that I hold in high regard, but it's only because the specific version. Um, there's Atlanta MB, I think.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Echo Park MB. No, Atlanta MB. It's
2019.
yeah. And the only reason I hold that track in high regard is because of the grips, the way they have the grips set up. The
Hmm.
bottom lane is paint grip, I think, and I don't remember what the top lane is, either asphalt or concrete. I don't know what.
Usually it either goes um most tracks I feel like either go from bottom to top asphalt concrete paint or they go paint concrete asphalt.
It's probably the latter because I know the bottom was paint, and everybody loved running the high lane. I'm about to give my secret away, but I don't give a shit. I don't fucking run anymore. But anybody who listens and their league still runs this track, they might get an advantage here. Um, so yeah, bottom lane is paint, but it's not the fastest way around. The top lane is the fastest way around, but you wear out your tires a lot quicker. So what I would do because we learned this in a test session, like me, Randall, Osty, and somebody else, I don't quite remember. We yeah, we were just kind of testing tracks for the upcoming season, and I don't remember if this was fixed setup and Osty was making the setups. I think that was the deal. Um, but yeah, testing tracks, testing grips, and we figured out. Oh wait, you can save like a lot of tire on the bottom. It's not fast. It's not very quick, but you can save like a lot of tire. And that's basically how I ran it. I always ran the bottom. I mean I usually kind of run the middle and the top to kind of like hide myself early in the race to not give a whole lot away. But it was just a tire eater, so I didn't quite stay up. I just kind of ran the back. Like, oh, I'm just running low line. I'm slow. I'm in the back. You know, that's whatever. And then they say no, I'm just picking off cars one by one every single lap. There was one race. It was USRL All Star race, and the format was like the old NASCAR All Star races where the last segment the field would get inverted. I forgot that. So before the field got inverted, I got off to like a 5 second lead. I was ahead of the field for 5 seconds. This is fixed setup too, and I just got up to when I realized the field got inverted, I was wondering, it's like, wait, I don't know if I saved my tires so much, or the field was kind of sandbagging once I got out to such a far lead. It's like, oh, because he's going to start last. This is going to start last or in 10th or whatever the inversion was. But I was so impressed with myself when I got off to that big of a lead because I'm never ahead by 5 seconds. So when I was ahead of by that much, I was so proud. But all I did was just take advantage of grips. That's all I did. Um, and there's a couple of broadcasts where I'm like up there, because USRL, that's the track they ran for a little bit up until they went to iRacing. Um, and there's one race where I self spawned from the lead, and that was very frustrating, and it kind of cost me the race because I ended up being back there, and I got involved in a wreck that uh, got me engine damage, so I couldn't quite get back to. I mean, I was able to like battle for top 3, but I wasn't able to win the race. That was frustrating for me. But the last win at USRL was on that track and utilizing the same strategy: run the bottom, everybody else run the top. Only I think 2 other people ran the bottom, and that was No Joyce, though he was like kind of flipping around. He would run top and run bottom. And Tommy Bordeaux, he knew the strat. He ran the bottom, but I was able to, uh, I was able to beat him with like about 2 or 3 to go. I was able to pass him because our pit strategies were different. Actually, well, I think he ran the top at first, so he had to pit earlier than I had to, because I was usually the last one I had to pit. Um, and because I had fresher tires, I was able to catch him. Even him running the bottom, I was able to catch him and pass him for the win. Unfortunately, that race wasn't broadcasted. I wish it was.
Hmm.
Um, and my last race at Fast was about the same time, I think. It was also Atlanta, but it was the super speedway variant, so not quite the same strat,
I
but still
remember.
still I still my last win. Still my last win at Fast, just like Israel, was at Echo Park.
Funny. Yeah, I remember with broadcast races, especially JTN races when Joe first started. I was dying to get a top 3 just so I could get interviewed like a real life race. So I would drive like an idiot sometimes at the end of the races to try to get a top 3. Um,
Yeah,
I'm glad that like I still like to give the interviews, but now it's just like it's not a big deal. But usually it's a guarantee I finish top 3. So I that's probably why it's not a big deal because it's like more of a guarantee now.
yeah, dude, I saw the statistics. You're like the new Brandon over at Fast. What the hell?
Yeah.
Won like 15 to 30 races or something.
Uh, I
Golly.
think it's 18 this year. I don't remember the exact total. It's at least been half the season so far. I should have won Kansas Sunday, but I choked. We were running the top like all night because it was paint up there. I had
Mm.
added default that track didn't have a ton of heat or wear to it, so we all probably would have just been running the bottom. But I was like, I don't like this. Um, I was like, I'm gonna touch it, and hopefully Randall will like it. Randall has like some of the tracks I've touched, and others he has hated it because he couldn't figure it out. Which I get it. But so I added heat and wear and a little bit of fall off, and it turned into where you could run the bottom, but if you ran the bottom for 5 laps, you were toast. If anybody was running the top those 5 laps, because you would just get really really tight about halfway through the run on tires. So we were just running the top, and I was comfortable that I was going to hold off Randall and Dunlaprad for the win. And then like Dunn had just gotten by Randall, and then we went into turn 3, and I was like, maybe I can get the car to rotate a little bit more in the center if I turn the wheel like 3 more degrees. And instead, the car went straight 3 more degrees, and I wall glued and then spun out with
Oh,
6 to go. So I was like, damn it. And what annoyed me the most in the moment is that was likely my last chance this season to win 5 races in a row, because that was like the third time I had won 4 in a row this year.
jeez. That must be
And
nice.
I was yeah, but I wanted to get 5 in a row because I had won 4 in a row once last year too, and I had never won 5 in a row, and I was like, I guess it's just not meant to be. So whatever. But did you
I think
mention
I,
your favorite league
I
to
think
race
I
at?
most I think the most I think the most I've ever won is by 2 in a row. Um, real quick, because I was supposed to run Kansas. I was wanting to run Kansas, but yeah, game decided to not work, and I don't feel like reinstalling. I don't feel like turning off DP. So it's like, whatever. I mean, hey, my last race was a win, so I mean, I'm perfectly fine with that. But from the description of the race, I don't think I would have enjoyed it, because I much prefer running bottom on
Mm.
tracks. I'm not a highline merchant. Being on controller is probably part of the reason it's tough for me to keep a consistent line on top.
Mm,
I'm it's easier for me to like wrap the bottom than it's the top. So I don't
yeah,
think I would have enjoyed that race very much.
I get it.
Um, but favorite league? Uh, I think I think I'm still second all time in starts in this particular league. I don't know. I mean, this spreadsheet only goes up till 2020, so things may change. But still, a shit ton of starts. I think I'd rank fast as my favorite league. Uh, been a loyalist. Ran there. I mean, I ran there for I guess better part of 8 years. No, no, not 8 years. Probably like 9 or 10 years. 2013 up till about 2022, 2021, 2022. Um, and yeah, that was my number one league. That was my home. That's the league I represented for a long time. I did some race. I mean, ran a few seasons at USRL, so I ranked that second. Um, but yeah, home my favorite, definitely fast. Sometimes tracks got frustrating. Sometimes drivers got frustrating,
Mm.
but like I said, nah, fast is home for me.
And physics, would it be CTS? You were saying earlier in the episode you like CTS a lot.
Yeah, I like it a lot. I don't know if I say it's my favorite because a lot, like I said, a lot of the, like Texas and Atlanta and sorry, Echo Park, and like tracks like that just are just super speedways. So it's not too fun because everybody can. I mean, you can just bottom lane it and win. There was
Mm-hmm.
one race, Truck Series at Texas. Someone did that. They literally the reason they won is because they low lined it the entire. Even in the backstretch, they just held the bottom line and they won because of it. So CTS not perfect, and
Mm.
I listened to Adam's thing, and I know his least favorite was CTS. Um, I don't mind how it drives. It's just sometimes yeah the horsepower is so low that I mean, just basic tracks can just be become super speedways. And sometimes that comes to my sometimes that's I mean not in my advantage, but I have a better chance of winning because it is a super speedway. Everybody's kind of on a level playing field.
Mm.
Um, but I mean I think my least favorite is probably PTA because that means I got to shift more. Um, and I like Cup. I think like I said if CTS isn't my favorite, probably Cup. Um, GNS is up there too, but yeah, it's so much tighter. In my experience, it just seemed like the cars are so much tighter. Like one of the worst races I ever ran was a fixed series race at Fast at Indianapolis, and I just could not turn. No matter what I did, I just could not turn. It was like the worst race I ever ran. It almost felt like we were on the easy setup. And as long as the setup is good for GNS, get loose enough, then I would really like GNS. But I maybe a slight advantage to CTS over Cup for me.
Okay. Um, how many people from the NR community have you got to meet in real life?
Unfortunately, none.
Oh,
But I've had chances.
I say you went to Kentucky Speedway for a little bit. You could have maybe run
Uh,
into Derek Justice if he was there once or twice. I don't know how many times he went, but
could have, but I mean, of course, I would have no clue who he was. I wonder if he
mm,
was still wearing those yellow gamer goggles of his. But
wow.
no, I had a chance to meet Mikey, Michael Murata. He was coming by. He was cutting through Ohio because he lives in North Carolina. He went back home for a little bit in Minnesota, and he he was cutting through Ohio, and I was thinking like maybe it's like shit. Maybe stop by on the way because I think his route he cuts through Dayton, I think, and that's not too far north. So like get take a little detour, come this way, but due to like time constraints and everything just didn't line up. So I was like, maybe next
Yeah,
time.
travel's tough when you're traveling.
Yeah.
I was trying to I was trying to maybe see if I could have met Randall 2 years ago when I was driving down to Knoxville, and he just never really. He was like maybe, and then he never really like. I think I might have asked him again, like, where you gonna be at like this time, yada yada yada. But then at the same time, the day I was traveling, um, I had stopped in Jersey and I had gone to the boardwalk, and I what I didn't realize until I had done it was the boardwalk was like 40 minutes out of my way. So I went to the boardwalk 40 minutes out of my way, spent like 45 to an hour there, and then left. And then I was like, man, I gotta hurry up and get to Richmond, or it's gonna be late when I'm bothering my cousin. Like, hey, sorry, I'm here at 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
But
Um, I do have kind of a NR, not NR much anymore, but I do have a neighbor, Robert Pinko. He moved up here from Florida a few years ago, shortly before COVID, and I was wanting to meet up with him at some point because I mean he only lives a couple towns over, but just haven't yet. I mean I know he's been going to Reds games, like shit. I need to go to a Reds game with him at some point.
that's like
The first baseball game he went to was a Cubs game. When he went to I think the Chicago Street Course, and he posted that his first baseball game was a Cubs game. Like, brother, you've been here for 6 years, and you go to a Cubs game before you go to a Reds game. Come on, bro. Come on, man.
the uh the closest person in my vicinity that used to do stuff on NR would be Stephen Pollard the third. He's literally like 20 minutes away from me, and I never was really close with him or anything, so I just haven't bothered to like ask for a meetup. I used to joke with like Joven and some other friends. I was like, Stephen Pollard the third works at this Dollar Tree over here. Like I could totally go like just go in there and like probably find him. But
Probably, yeah.
I never did it. I was like, that'd be awkward bothering someone while they're working. Like, I'm not gonna do
Yeah.
that. But
Like, at least stop and say hi.
I've met a few people from the community. It's tough. Like even when you're in like the same, like there's a lot of people in New England. It's just tough. There was one guy I wanted to meet from the offline side of things that I don't really talk to too much anymore, but I did like 10 years ago. And he was in like Connecticut, and I was trying to like meet up with him, and he was like, I'm gonna be busy, and I was like, damn, like that's too bad. Like Connecticut's like a 4 hour drive for me, basically, depending like where you go in Connecticut. But no, actually, it's more like 2 hours to get in Connecticut, and then another two to leave Connecticut. So
Yeah. Um. Uh. Actually, okay. So as I said, Mikey was the first one I could potentially met. Well, he was actually the first person that I raced against that I've come across, I guess. Because so I'm probably noted. I'm probably more noted on on painting. I've been painting cars since 2012. I started uploading on NN Racing in January of 2012, and a few months after, around September, all through year, I'm releasing old 2001, 2002 like back market cars. Um, that's just, I mean, like I said earlier, that's the era I'm just nostalgic for, and I paint cars that I want to see because there's nobody else that does these cars, at least not that I've seen, and I wanted to do them, so I did them. And a few months after, uh, someone, yeah, a guy started commenting, and and it was Mikey, and we didn't realize this until he joined Fast a few years after, and it's like, wait, you're Spider Tray? It's like, yeah. Like, wait, and he said what his username was. Like, wait, you're him? Holy shit! Like, holy cow! Because he would yeah, he would comment on all my stuff, uh from like September or whatever, all the way on up. And it's like, wow, that's like the first guy like the first guy I raced against that I started talking to, and yeah, we still talk to each other pretty much on the daily, like DM each other just stupid memes. random goofy ass brain rot memes. But yeah, that's a little over 13 years ago.
Right on.
I know there's another question. I don't remember what it was. Oh no.
Nope.
Was the last question favorite make? Yeah. Okay. I think we're good.
Yeah. Um, I would talk about more, but we're closing up on 2 hours, and I kind of want to end this because I'm gonna have to edit it, and the
And
longer
to
it
think I
is,
was
the
worried, and to think I was worried about not. I was worried about this being a 30-minute episode.
yeah. Oh well, we both like to talk. I think so. It ended up getting to a good point here. So
It helps me start getting comfortable. I yeah, real quick. I did a couple of JTN broadcasts. The first one I did, it was at oh god, it had a bunch of fucking names, but it was basically Fuel TDR Fast. I don't know. And it was a three-man booth between me, Joe, and Ricky Collette.
oh
And
God.
I was very. This was early on, you know. It was a three-man booth. Ricky wasn't quite Ricky yet,
Hmm.
and we were just kind of stepping over each other. It wasn't. I wasn't too like into it. Like, I mean, I was into it, but it was like, I don't think this is for me. The next broadcast I did was it was a Fast Cup finale at Homestead. I don't remember what season it was. It was like a couple years ago, and it was
Mm-hmm.
just me and Joe, and I was so much more comfortable. Like I haven't listened to it back, but I think it was pretty decent.
Yeah.
Call raced by me.
3-man booths are fun, but they are hard to manage who's talking when. You kind of have to like game plan before and like try to remember that. But 2-man booths are so easy because it's just like, okay, my partner stopped talking for 2 seconds, so now I'm gonna say something.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ricky is, obviously Joe doesn't really do it anymore because of life and stuff. But it got to a point where when Ricky was on, you were like, okay, where is the sexual innuendo going to be, or when is he going to just drop an f bomb out of nowhere? And then Joe
Oh
has
yeah,
to
first
go,
broadcast
Ricky.
almost dropped an F bomb. Yeah, I mean, I was almost guilty of dropping an F bomb. First broadcast, the three-man booth. There was somebody spinning, and I was in the middle of saying something. I was halfway through saying the F word when it happened. I stopped myself. But yeah, Ricky. Oh god, Ricky's a character. Yeah, still every once in a while he'll pop over at like the OSRL Discord or like VC or whatever. That's where I mostly hang out. But yeah, he'll pop over every once in a while. He's still quite the character.
Right, of course, I bet none of us. I don't think any of us really changed, So you change like a
Yeah,
little bit, but like that character aspect of yourself, it's still always there. Like you'll always be Sassy Sean. I think that'll be the episode name, Sassy Sean.
yeah.
I think that's a
I was thinking
good
about the
one.
thumbnail. I have no clue what thumbnail you use. Like I said, we don't race each other very often.
Yeah, I mean, if you have any old like screenshots that are at least 720p or preferably 1080p, but 720 I can at least upscale it and it's not too blurry. Otherwise, I'll just go in the FCRD mod and I'll just check your car, put it on Rockingham, and take a screenshot of your car on Rockingham.
So yeah.
Easy
Take a
enough.
screenshot of the car I never ran.
Yeah.
I did upload a car. That 91 car I was gonna run. That Sally never got to run. I think I was pretty proud of that car.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a nice scheme. I remember when I downloaded the mod real quick. I remember like going through like, okay, yeah, this guy paints, this guy does this. What the fuck is Sean Whitehill doing in here?
What year is it?
The 2022 mod, the default mod. When you download it,
Oh
there's a 91 car in there, I think.
oh yeah, that one. Oh, I was talking about the fast because I have a car uploaded for the fast like the current season
Okay.
and
I might have
uh,
downloaded it, yeah. I probably haven't,
but
but
yeah like I said I took I had my I had a hand on several car sets usually like the latest like SNG cars like default car sets. Like for example, Cup '98, like pretty much almost all the back market. Like I counted it. I think at least 50%, like at least like 55% of those cars were made by me, but they're
Wow.
all like mid back marker cars. It's like
Damn.
I didn't do the
Put in that
Hendrick
work.
cars. I didn't do Earnhardt. I didn't do Roush or anything. Like no, that Andy Hillenburg car or that Billy Stanridge car, that Rick Mast or whoever's like, yeah, that was me.
All right. Well, Sean, thank you for coming on. Who's that driver? If there's anybody you would like to shout out, now is your time to do so.
Um, I can't really shout out myself because I don't really do much. Uh, shout out. I mean, shout out to Fast. Like I said, if it wasn't for Fast, I would not be sitting here with you today. Um, God, if it wasn't for NR, I don't know what I'd be doing actually at the moment. Probably working. Shout out to Fast. Shout out to Randall. Um, shout out to USRL. I said, mentioned them. They I don't really pay attention on their schedule. I know they race. They race iRacing. So if you're interested in iRacing or an iRacing league, USRL's open. Um, yeah. If you still want to run NR, yeah, join the Fast Racing League. Bump their numbers up. As far as that, fuck, I don't know.
Yeah. No, I got you. Yeah, go run fast. I won't be full time there next year, so I won't be winning half
Hey, you
the
might win.
races.
Fucking
So
Brandon Hawkins Jr. over here.
yeah, I learned how to run the road courses better because of following Brandon on some tracks, or seeing. Uh, he gave me a setup once, and I learned like I base most of my open setups now kind of off of Brandon a little bit. Well, not entirely, but
Oh
I
man,
used to. The whole like
real
throw the weight all the way to the right, and then like take wedge out to the left, and like you can get some good stability doing stuff like that.
doing a bunch of funky shit. That's what I tried to do one time. I tried to like mess with the spring, like max out the springs here and just do some real funky shit. Just see if I could find something. That didn't quite work. Um, real quick. Speaking of getting setups, shout out to shout out to Osty. About 10 years ago or so. I don't remember exactly why, but he gave me his entire setup folder, and Osty pretty damn good at making setups. Um, but I mean, I think like a lot of his stuff might be based off of like the old Danny Hardy setups too.
Mm.
Um, the only time I ever got to race with Danny Hardy was when he came back for a little bit at Fast. He ran like a season or two. That's the
Yeah,
only time I really got to run with them.
I think that was
Um,
part of the reason I ran. I showed up to fast back then was because Danny went back with Hezzy, and
mm,
they went over, and I think they invited Joven over there, and then Joven invited me over there, and then like that's how we were all racing
okay.
over there. There were a couple other Bomb Squad guys who came over. That was back when Bomb Squad was going through a split, so there wasn't any racing going on. So it was like Danny, Hezzy, Joven, me,
All right.
though I wasn't really racing at Bomb Squad at the time, but me, and then I think
KJ,
Yeah, I think
keep it clean.
KJ, yep, KJ and Keith McLean. You stole the names out my mouth. They gave it a shot or two.
Yeah. Oh, I remember there's one race, McLean. Like, damn, he was so fast. That was at New Jersey.
Yes,
He
I
was just running
remember.
away with
Yeah, he,
everybody.
he was hauling ass.
Uh, but I remember, yeah, I remember Danny being in the that sawmill race at the very least, and I
Oh,
remember being worried because I was on a. I mean, like I said, I'm on a controller. Uh, doing manual restarts with and you have to talk on the restart. Not very easy. On a wheel's probably more easy because you probably got your thumb somewhere, but like I don't know. Uh,
yeah,
multitasking. I guess I'm not very good at multitasking. It's like no. It wasn't the talking aspect. It was the typing. You had to type
yeah,
because Danny I think Danny was hard of hearing at that time. Or at least someone in the field was having like hard time hearing, and it's like, oh no, I don't want to type. because I have to reach for my keyboard while I got hit enter with my pinky or something.
Yeah, I
That's
remember.
a
I remember having to do that when I was on controller. I was a pain. You had to like let go of one part of the controller, hit T, type green,
hmm
and then like grab the
hmm
controller and then like hover your pinky over the enter key so that you didn't like
Yep.
smash the gas and just immediately spin out because you don't have your left hand on the joystick.
Yep. That's the reason I never really liked leading the field to green, because I have a hard enough time just trying to keep a consistent speed. Because I'm always going from, like, just say, pace speeds like 55 or 60,
Mm.
like that's like 60. I'm always jumping from 64 to 57. Like I'm trying my best here. I'm trying my best. That's why I pace in fourth gear at like 10th place. It's so much easier rather than the second gear and first. It's like, fuck, man.
Yeah, that's the great thing about the new EXCs now is you can run game yellows and you can just take pace laps away, so the yellow is still as long as you need it to be, and you just take the pace laps away, and you don't have to worry about typing green or anything. Though it was nice to
Yeah.
like it was nice to play restart zone games on certain tracks. Like I would always like to
Yeah.
go if I was leading the first time, I would go right at the beginning of the zone. Then the next one, I would get people to try to like jump it, and I would go right at the end of the zone, and people would always be like, "Oh, you didn't quite go in the zone." Like, no, I definitely did, because they'd be
I
mad
try
that
not to do that.
they got caught out trying to go, and I like left them. Like, I'll get like a 2 car length jump on the restart. But yeah,
Yeah.
but anyway,
I try not to do that. I try not to do that because it's more stressful for me doing that. But my last win at, I think, Fast, it was a little bit of restart shenanigans because Mikey was starting. I think Mikey was starting second. I think he was on the inside and I was on the outside, and it was a strap for me to go early and for him to kind of not quite go as when the yellow called, so I can fall in front of him, and we went 1-2.
nice. Well, I'm going to wrap this up, Sean. Thanks again for coming on for Who's That Driver, episode 23. We're going to call it Sassy Sean, and we'll get some kind of screenshot or something of one of Sean's rides here for this episode. So episode 24 is next. It's the Jeff Gordon episode. Maybe I should dig up another Jeff Gordon fan. I mean, hell, half of the guests on this show so far have been Jeff Gordon fans. I feel like it would only be fitting to have a Jeff Gordon fan for 24, but we'll get who we get, and we'll see who that'll be. But thanks again, Sean, for coming on, and thanks everybody for listening.